And it was
days.
248 in 4 months total.
But I mean, if you
So
guys had an extra 248 appointments in the last 4 months, like how good would your business be?
All right, you guys. Some of you may know this, some of you don't. I wrote a book called Confessions of the Coach, and I have a little bit to confess to you today. Um,
Good book.
I needed help. So I want to tell you guys a little bit of a story, and this leads into why I know Jonathan and how I got to know Jonathan. So back in about October-ish, I got this thing placed on my heart. And I don't know if any of you have ever been in a situation where something is spoken so loudly to you, no matter what you believe. For me, it was like the Lord was just like, girl, you need to like listen. And so I did. And it was all about bringing people together in a room and being able to share with them about vision, about how to grow their businesses. But instead of just one-on-one coaching, which I had been doing a lot of at that point, it was like, how do we help more people? Like, how do I help more people? And it was really placed on my heart. And I thought, okay, I'm going to do this. Anyone ever been there where like there is something so heavy, but yet fun? Throw it in the chat. Like, I've been there. I'm, I'm there now. I have been there. Like, where this idea or thought, you never stop thinking about it. Jessica says, yep. Anyone else? I'm there now. Lisa, heck yeah. Okay. So I'm not alone, which is always nice. Me, Richard says, beautiful. So I'm in this place and I absolutely me, you guys, I love it. So I was in this place of transition really. And so I thought, okay, how do I do this? Well, I decided to take it upon myself, which never really turns out when it's placed on you to depend on God about it. And so here I am by myself. I hired a social media person. I poured all this money, and I was going to have an event in January. Guys, January comes, right? I have this event. I was inviting 100 people. Now I was throwing a vision like party, like create vision. We're going to put boards together. I hired a DJ, y'all. I had this at this place. We were going to have awesome snacks. I was going to preach about like how to create a great vision. We had boards. I had bought all the supplies. I was so pumped. I thought this is what I'm supposed to do. And 2 weeks before the event, I had one person registered for the event. And I had to make a really tough call. And that call was I had to either continue to go with it and whoever showed up was meant to be there, or I had to make the decision to cancel that event because I was going to either have to like continue to pay the DJ even though we weren't having the event, or the space. And I hired staff to come and help me and all that. So I kind of had to make a tough decision whether I was going to still pour financially into it. We had massive gift bags we were giving away to everybody that had mugs and books and journals that they could write their visions in. And at the end, we were going to have their journal with their name. Like the guy was coming with the printer and was going to print it on there for them with their word of the year. Like it was, to me, going to be absolutely amazing. Unfortunately, I did make the call to cancel that event. And it took me a minute to get over it, you guys. I was super emotional because I thought, my goodness, like why put this on my heart? And then it didn't work out. And but I sat back and I thought, okay, why didn't this work? And it was because I didn't have a following. And when we think about following, let me know if you guys are here. Sometimes we think about like social media. Anyone think about like when I say following, like social media? Anyone jump into that? Yes, right?
Hmm.
So hence I had this social media manager and I was like, oh my God, like first thought. Yep. Thank you, Lisa. So I was like, how did this go so wrong? Um, Once I wiped off my tears and put my boots back on, I realized that the following that I was trying to get through that avenue was not what I was really searching for. And out of the blue, I get this call, and it's from this beautiful human, Carolyn. Carolyn and I worked together almost like 7 years ago. I hadn't really spoken to her since. And that beautiful woman called me and she said, hey, Heather, I have this. Um, I work for this company called Quantico AI. I'm so stoked. Another gentleman, Jay, works there, and I knew Jay from prior work experience with Carolyn. And she says, hey, I know you work with people. We could really help them. This is what we do. She shared it with me. And I sat there and I was like, wait, hold on. I will definitely send you people. But Carolyn, like, I need this. Has that ever happened, you guys, where you had to go through like that absolute, what felt like a failure, but in order for like me to get my attention, right? Like sometimes I have to just get like whacked up beside the head, right? Like it just had to happen that way. Anyone else out there, fail forward. I freaking love that, right? And I don't consider it like a failure, but it's the easiest word I can think of because I love that. Yep. Thank you guys for the love. Um, and so here I was talking to this beautiful human, Carolyn, at the perfect moment. And I sat there and I thought, okay, this is exactly what I need because we can target market. A lot of you guys are on this call today because of the target marketing efforts that we were able to create together using Quantico AI. And that is how I got to know the Jonathan. And I will tell you, even working with Jonathan, one of the things that was the most impressive and why I would even have him in front of you or why you guys have worked with him is he listened to my story. He listened to the passion that I had for helping people. And he honestly was one of the one people outside of like my husband and my daughter, who are my highest cheerleaders, that was like, I get you. I can do this. I have a community. Everything that you're saying, like, I can help you with. And it was such a relief to know that A, I wasn't crazy, that A, there was a way for me to be able to jump in and do this, but that I also had the support. And he brought it in a way that I didn't even think about using AI. And so that is my little story about how I got to know Jonathan, the legend, the guy who every Monday keeps me on
Stop.
point with what I'm trying to create and keeps me on my vision. Sometimes things work out, sometimes they don't. We have went back and forth on multiple things. This really took off in January, and it's amazing what we've been able to witness, take things apart, rebuild them, and ultimately keep me on target for the things that I feel I'm built for. Now I have the support system to help me get there. So with that, I do want to officially let Jonathan take it from here.
Now this is not going to be the rah AI. Okay, a lot of the times whenever we see AI, it is very much, you know, here's OpenClaw and it can run your whole business for you. Here's, this. I'm not. Those are what I like to call the AI bros, and they are not practical for small business owners. Okay, so I am going to say this, as most of you who have ever been on any of my calls, we start small and then we scale up. Okay. Um, 2 years ago, I didn't even know how to spell AI, right? Now all of a sudden it's like I'm talking about it all the time. I'm using it all the time. I literally built a website from scratch for a very large mortgage broker event coming up from my phone while putting my kids to bed yesterday. Shipped it, full website, ready to go. This world is just crazy, right? And so I really want to go through today like the practicality of how we as business owners, doesn't matter what profession you guys are in, like how we can utilize AI um, inside of your business day one. And I'm going to give you guys a bunch of different goodies and everything else as well. So you with me? We're going to rock and roll. As I always say, if you give me a microphone, I will speak in it. So I said that to these Medicare people, and they're like, "Can you fly out to North Carolina?" I'm like, "Heck yeah, I'm flying out to North Carolina." So I just came back from North Carolina speaking at a Medicare event. So anyway, here's my story, guys. Um, I started in the mortgage industry in 2011. I was working at a golf course, and I'm like, "What do you do?" And they're like, "I'm in lending." "What do you do?" "I'm in lending." I'm like, "And you're here on a Tuesday, right?" Like, I'm going to do that because I want to play as much golf as I can. And it turns out when you're really busy as a loan officer, you don't get to play as much golf as you can. But it basically led me from essentially becoming this version of myself, which I'm so thankful for. And it allowed for me to fail forward quite a bit. I had amazing mentorship. I was the assistant to the regional manager, ended up becoming assistant manager, ended up becoming, a branch manager for a long time. And I'm not going to lie, guys, my branch failed. Okay. Which is crazy. Like we were so busy. The P&L was so red. I was testing all these different things. I had the wrong systems, the wrong processes in place. like on paper, we looked great. On paper, we were funding millions of dollars. And then I get like my P&L balance. I'm like, oh my gosh, how did we lose money this month? And it's because we didn't have processes in place, right? Like we didn't have systems in place to be able to track everything. And so that started getting me down this road of, how can I automate different things? How can I utilize different tech and tools to help me automate and get my P&L in the green, right? And like I said, I'm so thankful that I can fail forward, right? Because that allowed for me to get to where I am today. Obviously, working with a number of different mortgage professionals, insurance, and everything else. But I'm gonna highlight this here real quick because obviously, who wasn't a top 1% loan officer in 2020, 2021, right? The sky was falling with refinances, and you're getting a phone call every 6 seconds, and if that person shopped your rate, okay, go have fun. I got the next call coming in, right? It was crazy, right? And that really led me to how can I systematize the business? How can I get the systems inside of the business? Because I needed to buy back my most important asset, which is what? Our time, right? 2020, brand new father. I'm on the phone 16, 17 hours a day. I would work from, also my processor quit during that time. So I also had to process all of the loans. So I used to manage like the entire branch's pipeline of I'd originate from basically 8 to 8, and then I'd process all of our loans from 8 to 2 in the morning, chug a Red Bull the next morning and do it all again. Like it was just crazy, right? And I lost a lot of time during that time. I look at like that time, like I had a new baby. It's just all these different things. So I tried to then figure out how could I buy back my time, right? And how could I give that back to more professionals inside of the industry? And so a lot of what we talk about with AI and automation is with the exact purpose of buying back the one thing that we can never get back, which is our time. So that's a little bit about my story, about how this whole thing got started. And like I said, I'm thankful for the hard times because those are what brought me here. So, but clients I'm currently working with, uh, these guys are fun, doing a whole bunch of different AI stuff. The duck, as I like to call them, EMC. Some of you guys might be from E-Mortgage Capital. I was able to help out E-Mortgage Capital with a lot of things, but then I also work with a bunch of smaller companies too, right? So we're dealing with enterprise level clients. We're dealing with other clients such as Craft Chiropractic, and I got a story about that here in a minute. But again, AI and automation is for the big guys, and it's also for us little guys too, right? It's extremely important. You don't need a crazy budget to be able to automate a lot of what you have inside of your life, right? So again, I kind of talked about the mortgage industry. I come from the mortgage industry. I was all about the client experience. I'm a referral-based business. Everything that I do is to provide that client experience. And like I said, I was fortunate enough to win one of the 3 best-rated mortgage companies at the time. That was because of automation, right? That was because of being able to outsource a lot of what we do to automation. So again, it's very important that we look at that too. But here's the main thing, guys. This is what I get asked all the time. AI is talking to your clients already. Are you talking to your clients? Right. And we kind of talk about this, again, I'm going to pull up the refi boom again because it was so, it was just crazy. Like I couldn't, I, I couldn't get off the phone fast enough to take the next call. Right. And I think about it now, like if I had all these different systems and processes and these like AI agents in place, then I probably would have quadrupled my production. I missed so much business because of a missed phone call. I missed so much business because I couldn't get back to people fast enough. And now we can essentially build these employees that can allow for us to get back to us quickly and do all these different things. So why AI matters now, and this is still crazy to me. Only 25% of small businesses are currently utilizing AI in some form or fashion, right? 25%. You think of all the different companies that are out there. 20 only one fourth of every person on this call is currently utilizing AI in some fashion, right? I did a talk this last week in North Carolina, and I was chatting with one of the ladies. She's like, "Oh my gosh, I just downloaded ChatGPT on my phone this last week." I was like, it was crazy to me. Of course, I've obviously adopted it and everything else, but it's like there's still people who are not adopting these different tech and these different tools, right? So, um, but AI powered automation is what's increasing our productivity, right? Again, I attribute this obviously to the refi boom. How much more business would I have done if I had the AI tech and the AI tools during that time, right? And a lot of people, this one was a very fun statistic. 82% of small businesses believe that they must adopt AI to stay competitive, but only 25% of them have, right? There's still a lot of people who have not adopted it. They know that they need to, but they don't know how to. The time to act on AI is now, right? And again, it's now going to be, it could be the small things, it could be the large things. We're going to go over what that is. So first, I got to tell you, what is AI and what is automation? A lot of you guys have automation, right? We're using all these different tech and these different tools. A lot of you come from my CRM call, but automation is the technology that is the hands of AI that allows us to deploy different AI agents, where artificial intelligence is the brain. Okay. And I want you guys to almost imagine having essentially this digital workforce that can respond to people when they text you at 2 in the morning, that can answer frequently asked questions about your business, right? Uh, so we build AI bots, Quantico does, and our AI agent yesterday took a phone call at 3 in the morning. Okay, 3 in the morning. Now, it was the wrong number, but that call was still answered, right? And so we have these different tech that can work 24/7 where you guys are sleeping or eating dinner and your business is still being worked on. And the best part is, if you program it correctly, it doesn't get burnout, it doesn't get mad at clients, and it smiles and dials, or it has that cheerful smile every single time, right? But what that does is that frees you up to then be able to work on your strategic work. Okay. So let's talk about this again, right? How many of you have time scarcity where you don't have enough time in the day? You can go ahead and raise your hands. I can see you, right? How many people have leads that they haven't called back? Me, right? How many people have different processes where it's like, if I just had this built, that would free up my time, right? How many of us got burned out? Honestly, the main reason why I quit the mortgage industry uh, was because I literally was I'm like, if I have to take another loan application, I will jump through jump through the wall, right? Like it's constant firefighting, right? It's exhaustion. And it's always like, oh my gosh, I cannot even think about this right now, right? And so again, as a small business owner, like, and don't get me wrong, guys, I have AI inside of my business right now. I still have these problems, right? But I've been able to expand my capacity by utilizing these systems. We still have time scarcity. I don't have lead loss, I'll tell you that. We have a little bit of process inefficiency, but now we have the tech and the tools to build around that, and we still get burned out. So it's always going to happen regardless of if you have this or not. But I do want to highlight that, because what does that impact? That impacts your time, right? So this is why AI is the biggest opportunity inside of our system today, because this allows for you to scale without having to scale your headcount. Okay. Um, in the mortgage industry, my branch was 15 people. Okay. We did, I was, what I like to call I was the hunter. I was the one that went out and found the business, right? And then I'd have all my different ops teams and everything else. Well, my overhead was about $60,000 a month just in salaries, right? So you can imagine the amount of production that I had to put through just to feed them before I was able to feed myself, right? If I were to build out a digital team, my cost would be roughly about $1,000 a month to run the same exact operation that I had back then, which is crazy, right? Because that team works 24/7. They don't take vacations. And that allows for me to essentially scale, handle the routine tasks, handle the data analysis, have a personalized customer interaction without having to pay more money, right? So that's what the biggest thing within the AI opportunity is right now. We have social media managers that are AI, right? We have, if you heard about Manus AI, which was bought by Facebook, but now just got, put back. Manus had big plans to have that as their AI ad tool that literally, okay, I want to write you text Manus. I want to run this ad. Okay, cool. I just built everything for you, right? Like it's crazy what we have now, and it's just going to keep getting, bigger and better. But it doesn't take days off, right?
So
So,
here's one thing I will say about this part, just as a user of this myself. Um, if you think about to hire, and some of us are in here that have ran, my insurance team was up to 72 people at one time, and so it it gets a little crazy as a leader on how to build people and manage all the bullshit. To be completely honest with you, right?
mhm,
And what we heard a lot was like, my team's not picking up the phone, my team's not doing this. It's like nobody, guys, wants to call 7,000 people. Like it is not
crazy.
a dream job for most people, right? They're like, they'll try it, but they definitely will burn out. We're not training them appropriately. There's a lot that happens with that. But honestly, even working with Jonathan right now, like the amount of people that we are texting, like some of you got invited via text, like all of that's happening. That's stuff that I am not doing, but I know is getting taken care of. I can see how it's getting taken care of because I'm a control freak by nature. And so to be
Hmm.
able to like monitor that myself as well. But at the end of the day, it even if you find a person that can do this, they're not going to do it forever. They'll either leave because we can't pay them enough, the job will run out, they get through the database, right? Like, and so you spend all the money training, getting them a computer, like doing all of that, when this is such a great resource to do something that nobody really wants to do anyway.
Exactly. I actually used to work for a call center, and we were required to make 200 calls per day. And I'll tell you two things. So one, if I took a bad call, the next 10 calls were very bad, right? They could have been the nicest people in the world. It didn't matter to me. I was pissed about the call from 5 calls ago, right? The second thing is on that 200th call, I was about to take this headset and throw it across the room, right? AI can now call 200 people in a matter of 50 seconds. It's crazy,
Which is
right? And like
insane. Yeah.
absolutely crazy, right? So again, expanded outreach for you, right? So again, it's like where we're going is just absolutely crazy. And guys, we are still at the beginning of it. It's absolutely nuts. So I don't know how I can like how do I lower my hand? I don't know
I
why it's
don't
doing that
know. I
now.
was trying to do that for you over here.
Can you lower
Lower
my
hand.
hand for me?
I got you,
Right?
brother. I got you.
Ah, cool, 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 cool. All right. So, but yeah, again, like it operates 24/7, right? So again, it allows for you to scale without adding more team members, right? Lisa asked a great question. I'll show you here in a second, Lisa. We'll have some fun with it. So, all right, this is the framework that changes everything. All right, I'm a dad. Dean, you're a dad. Who else is a dad? I'm sorry, the ladies here. Everybody's a dad today, okay? And the reason why we're a dad is we're going to delegate, we're going to automate, we're going to dominate. What does AI allow for us to do? Say it with me: delegate,
Delegate,
automate,
automate,
dominate,
dominate.
right? Yeah, right. So this is the framework that I have. Obviously, I'm a dad of three. But what do I do with AI? I can hand off repetitive work to AI. I could say, hey, Zoom, go ahead and summarize this call for me. Oh, and by the way, Claude, can you pull out the points that I need to work on today? Right? I can have it send reminders. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you have a ChatGPT account, you can actually set up and have ChatGPT remind you of, hey, today you're supposed to be working on that thing, right? Love it, Lisa. Motivate, originate, move. I love that. That's awesome. Moms, let's
Yeah.
go.
Yes, queen. Woo!
So again, it allows for you to delegate different things to, right? Automation, right? I'm a big automation guy. How do we build out these workflows that run without you, right? Can I have follow-up sequences going out to clients? Can I have calls booked, right? If any of you have ever booked a call with me, like, hey, it's Jonathan Farrell, we got a call in 10 minutes. I'm not sending that, guys. I've had people like, man, I can't believe you text me. I'm like, no, 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 that's automation, baby, right? So again, you set it once, it works for forever. It doesn't break, right? And that allows for you to dominate, right? Let's face it. Your competition is manually sending the follow-up emails where you already have a pre-written email, right? Ready to go after a meeting. I'm going to talk about some of the different AI tech that you guys can utilize that crafts emails for you automatically in your brand voice that can build a bunch of different things for you for your social media profile and some of the other stuff. But yes, steal Lisa's. Lisa, I'm stealing yours.
I
I'm
am too. It
sorry.
was great.
Good one. Because I've used this one for too long. But but here's the top 5 practical use cases for small businesses to utilize AI, right? Number 1 is lead generation and lead nurturing. Okay. The number one reason why companies reach out to us is they say, I don't have a lead problem. I have a lead conversion problem. My team is not calling the people fast enough. We're not having enough conversion on the existing leads that are in. If you've ever read my dissertation, the leads aren't weak, your follow up is weak, right? The best part with AI doing the follow up or the AI doing the lead nurture is it's never going to forget to send that follow up text message to somebody. It's never going to forget to call that person back if they say, hey, could you call me at 12? Oh, yeah, no worries. I'll call you at 12, right? How many of us have lost leads because we just forgot? We're human, guys. It's it's crazy, right? And trust me, like as somebody as a mortgage professional whose branch relied on inflow of leads, this was my number one pain point in the industry. We didn't have a generation problem, we had a nurture problem. And the loan officers and SDRs that I had hired during that time, they weren't calling people. Let's face it, some of us humans are lazy. I'm lazy, right? And that's where your CRM automations and all your other stuff can come in, right? It could schedule appointments for you, right? It could generate sales reports for you. Hey, take a look at our, Stripe. Can you identify gaps within here? Do we have a churn ratio, right? When does this client need to be followed up with next, right? It's crazy. So we have these different tools that we can use. Customer service, we're going to talk about all this stuff in a minute, but that's the chatbots, AI powered chatbots, 24/7 customer support, answering frequently asked questions like, hey, what's your location? Right? Something that you would have to hire somebody for, you can now have an AI program for it or an automation program for it. Right? Marketing and content creation. This is obviously one of my favorites. And I'm going to actually share some of my fun stuff here in just a moment. But of how we can utilize AI to generate social media posts. Okay. And I'm not talking about, just writing stuff. I'm talking about generating images, right? We can have it generate video now, right? All the stuff that I used to have to pay my social media manager $6,000 a month to generate for me can now be generated with AI, right? Take a long form video, have AI microclip it for you, right? I'm going to share some of that stuff just here in a minute. Okay. And then obviously operations, right? The repetitive tasks. That's the administrative tasks, like data entry. I'm not gonna lie, guys. Claude did an excellent job in analyzing my bank statements for me this week and creating a detailed spreadsheet as to here's all your write-offs. Now I did double check it. Always double check AI's work, but I literally took something that I had to do every single year to then prepare for my CPA. I was like, hey, Claude, why don't you take a crack at this? And it did it. And it did in about 5 minutes, right? I literally just had to double check the work, right? And we're going to talk a little bit about that too, because obviously AI is great. It's not always accurate, right? We always have to double check the work. Okay. So, what
So
I'm going to
really
do.
quick on the marketing, I just want to share with you guys. I sent Jonathan, a client of mine who runs she opened a fifth tax business this year
Mhm.
in locations throughout her area. And one of the things that she was running into was that client outreach and making sure people were booking in time and then coming into the office. And so what Jonathan was able to do even in that business, because remember, that's like a very condensed
Mhm.
cycle of the sale, right? There's really a few months, basically January through April 15th, that it gets maximized. And so I don't remember the stats, Jonathan. You probably have them memorized, but it was crazy how many calls they made, how many people booked, and then the show rate was actually so much higher because of the reminder follow-ups. So even if you have a staff calling, setting that first appointment, those reminders that were coming out after were absolutely huge, or where they could reschedule on their own. It was absolutely amazing. So it changed her
I have
business.
her exact stats. It's on a LinkedIn post. It's one of my favorite stats ever. It was like in the last 30 days, we had an AI agent do all the outreach to our existing client base. It was like 267 appointments booked. And Jackie, do you have that? Are you still on the call? Can you see if you could pull that for me? I can't. It's my LinkedIn profile's all messed up. So,
Which one
um,
was it?
it was it was the one that we did for Lexi with Rocket
Rocket.
Tax.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was like 267 appointments booked in 30 days. It was crazy. Um, just from one database reactivation campaign, right? But that was all basically AI doing the work for her to her existing client base, right? And for anybody who's in any profession, if you're not reaching out to your existing client base or people who you've done business with in the past, you are missing out tremendously.
Well, somebody
Okay.
else is. That is the honest truth about it,
Somebody
right?
else is.
Somebody
Yep.
else is calling them. Whether they're in your database, somebody else is calling them, texting them, reaching out to them on social media. Like if your name is not in front of them,
Somebody else
somebody else
is
is.
doing it, right?
Yep.
And from a refi standpoint, like I'm not gonna lie, my buddy, I've done 6 loans for him. I just got this model match or whatever it is thing saying, "Oh, you just lost a refinance to so and so." I'm like, "What the heck?" I'm like, "Matt." And I call him up. He's like, "I'm sorry, man. Like he just reached out to me. He's like, hey, we can get you this deal." I'm like, that was a $400,000 loan, guys. That's like 8 grand in commissions that I just missed out on because I expect people to remember me. Well, I'm not doing outreach to them, right? So again,
Because
that's
you did such a good job, Jonathan, and you were
I
their
did
guy,
such a
and
good.
like
I was their
you were
guy. I was
so
it.
impressible. You just made this impression on them, and they're gonna remember you for life. They're inviting you to the baby shower. Like,
I've
no,
been
none
to
of
the
that
baby
happens.
shower.
They like
Yeah,
they get what
they
they need,
forgot
and they
me,
are like, peace out, right?
right? Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's great. Okay, I found the stats. I gotta show you guys this because this was absolutely nuts. So
I think Jackie threw him up there too.
yeah, 30 days, one client, 5,000 phone calls, 1,500 real applications. It was 120. I totally oversold that. 128 appointments booked,
In the 30
right?
It was,
days.
In
yeah,
30
and it was
days.
248 in 4 months total.
But I mean, if you
So
guys had an extra 248 appointments in the last 4 months, like how good would your business be, right? So
Now, also to note, in her offices, there are 5 to 7 people per office working there. And they were not able to make, there was no way they were going to be able to make that amount of calls and take in the walk-in clientele or the people that were coming in for those appointments, even though if you think about total as a staff, it's insane.
crazy, right? So one, reach out to your past client database. Two, you can use an agent to help you with that, right? Uh, I already kind of showed the last slide, but again, social media posts, right? Who here has a business and you don't post on your social channels?
Who hates posting on social media?
Me,
I hate it so bad. It's the worst.
right?
Not my jam.
Right?
Not my jam.
Not my jam. Who here has to do a keynote and is like, oh shoot, I
Chore.
gotta make that thing. Yeah, it's a chore,
Dude,
right?
I hear you, Lisa. Preach it, girl. That is 100%.
So I'm just gonna let you know too, like AI basically built the majority of this presentation for me. I just went and cleaned it up. It's crazy, right? And that's just with a couple simple prompts. So again, if you got a chore, it can't cook you breakfast yet. I did try to do that, but it doesn't do that yet. So all right, but it can create your social media content. All right. And so I wanted to show you guys just from a content creation standpoint. So again, I used to employ somebody, their job was to build our social content. I hated posting on social media, right? We got so much business from posting on social media, just like top of mind. AI can now build your social media posts for you. Okay. Now, I want you to write these guys down. Okay. So if you don't know about the different tools to utilize, one, ChatGPT has a great image tool. It's not as good as Gemini. Okay. So Gemini has a program or a platform or a tool in it that's called Nano Banana. Who here has heard of Nano Banana before? Cool. Okay. So there's my hand raised again.
I'm gonna take it down for you.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm a big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles guy. I grew up with like TMNT, like 1990s version. Like I'd sit there watching it all day long. So I took a selfie of myself, right? And I said, "Hey, Gemini, I would like for you to create a really cool selfie of me with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles." Right? I want it to be a 1990s version. I want it to look like we are taking a selfie from a GoPro, and it needs to have all four Ninja Turtles in it. Go ahead and post that for me. And this is what it came up with. I'm like, this is Dream World, like Jonathan, like, you know, little 5-year-old kid like hanging out with Ninja Turtles, right? So again, it allows for you to create amazing social media tools. This one here was done with ChatGPT. I'm like, hey, ChatGPT, I want to make a really cool image where it looks like I'm breaking through my phone screen, right? Can you make it? Can you I'm a hat guy. Most of you who have ever been on calls with me, I wear a hat all the time. I'm like, have a hat, have it say automations. Here's my Instagram handle. Can you make this image? And it made the image. Now it made the image of me much younger, so I'm very happy about that. It doesn't have gray hair and stuff, but it made the image, right? This one here, my daughter had a project due, and I'm like, wouldn't it be really funny if we made a movie poster for you? So I took a picture of her. It's like, hey, ChatGPT, I need to make a movie poster image of my daughter called Unicorn Pizza Shop. Make this. And literally, this was the first take. It's awesome, right? We have this amazing tool that you can pay like 20 bucks a month for, or in my case, $200 a month for, that will like build these crazy cool things for you, right? Like if you're on Canva, like there's now Canva AI where you literally tell Canva, I want you to build this for me, and it will build all of the content, right? So again, like all these different things that we used to have to go to Fiverr and pay 50 bucks for a logo. Now we can have, ChatGPT generate a logo for our business, right? We used to go to all of these other different tools and like have to hire like freelancers to be able to do that. That can now all be done within your app, right? It's crazy. So again, it's all about how you prompt it. I'll have a prompt pack for you guys as far as like image creation and everything, but it can now create your social media for you, right? Let's talk about.
Sorry,
Uh,
Jessica put something hilarious in the
I
chat.
gotta read it. Yeah. No, but do you use Gemini, Jess?
Me too.
So
No, that
Oh
was
my
Chat
God.
GPT. I tried it a few times and I was burned. It was like so upsetting and I never did it again. Maybe
yeah,
it's just the prompt I gotta put in.
it's the prompt. Okay, I'm gonna actually share. I'm gonna pull up the prompt that I use for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I will paste that in the chat
Oh my
because
gosh.
it will very much help. But it's how you prompt it. And I'm going to talk about one more thing. Prompt is very important. Nobody prompts better than AI prompts. So there's a tool that I learned when I went to this Open AI conference. They talked about something called meta prompting. Okay. Now, meta prompting is where you have AI build the prompt for you. So, for instance, uh, you would go to ChatGPT or you would go to Claude or your preferred method of choice, right? You would say, "Hey, Chat, can you make me a super prompt on what I want to do?" And it will literally output an entire prompt for you. You take that prompt, you open up a new chat, and paste that in there. Okay, been game changer for me, especially in the AI space. Have AI create the prompt for you and then use AI's prompt over it because nobody prompts AI better than AI. Okay. A little bit of a tip of the trade. Okay. Let's talk about Opus Clip. Okay. By far one of my favorite services. Opus Clip, what it does is I record a lot of video, right? And I record a lot of long form video content, meaning like podcast, uh, all this other kind of stuff. I will take that video, I will put it into Opus Clip, and Opus Clip will create micro content for me. Who here is like big into Gary V, right? So like Gary V is like, you got to create long form content and then like micro clip it. And so when I had my mortgage branch, we created long form content. Then I had to pay a guy a lot of money to microclip it for me, right? Opus Clip is like 20 bucks a month. You literally take your long form content, you drop it in here, and it will create micro clips for you. Okay. So rather than spending hours and hours and hours editing and making micro content for your business, you can make one long video like this one, which I will put into Opus Clip and put on my channels, and it will make all of your shorts for you, right? For YouTube, for Instagram, for TikTok. And then the best part is it actually ranks. This has a 99% chance of a virality score. Okay. This is your most potentially viral clip. It'll give you, here's your caption, here's this, here's that. So if you're like me and we hate posting content because we can't come up with anything creative, we can have AI do that for us and it will actually clip the content. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I posted this exact video on my YouTube channel and it did okay. I got about 100 views. I posted this clip on my YouTube channel and it got 1,500 views. Okay. So even though it said that this one would outperform, sometimes the algorithm is a little bit funny, right? So, but biggest thing is I now have 30 days worth of content that I could post on my various sources of channels, right? From one long video. So super, super great tool. I love it. I wanted to kind of post that out there because it also, if you'll see here, it has all the different, captions and all the other fun stuff. I don't have to do that. I don't have to edit it anymore. AI does that for me. Okay. So as far as that goes, those are two different tools that I use quite a bit. Okay. Um, let's talk about this, boosting your bottom line, ROI, right? So we have our lead conversion that we can use. We have our marketing that it can allow for us to use, right? I can expand myself, duplicate myself by utilizing these different AI tech tools for me. I don't have to hire anymore to have marketing content created for me, right? I don't have to do all these different things. I now can have AI tools essentially do them for me, right? I'm gonna tell you guys about one more. Okay. It's not on my slide deck. I wish I put it on my slide deck. It's my absolute favorite. I'm literally use it all the time. I might have told you guys, some of you guys about it before. Marblism. Okay. It's M-A-R. I put it in the chat. M-A-R-B-L-I-S-M. Okay. Now, what Marblism is they are a software company that they created 5 different AI employees. Okay. You have your blog writer, you have Eva, who's your executive assistant. She lives inside of your inbox and she writes emails for you and and can reply to them, right? And then my absolute favorite is Sunny. Okay. Now, so again, if you guys search it, it should look just like this. Hopefully you guys can see. So you got all these AI employees, right? So Eva lives inside of my inbox. When people email me, Eva went into my sent mail. She studied how does Jonathan write? Okay. What style of writing does Jonathan do? And she learns about how does Jonathan write. She will then craft for every email that I receive a personalized email reply. I get that email, I go into my inbox and I go into my drafts and I already have a draft ready to go that I can either edit or just send as is, right? Eva also looks at my calendar all the time. It was really funny because I just got a notification from Marblism. So Eva's looking at my calendar, says, hey, by the way, Al Farraguti just replied. He wants to schedule something. Would you like for me to look and reply to him with your availability? Right? Because it's looking at my actual calendar, right? It's your executive assistant. Sunny, if you go to my LinkedIn account, I hate posting social media. All of my content on LinkedIn is posted by Sunny. Okay. Now I approved it, right? I reviewed it because I want to make sure that it matches my brand and what I want. but I now just have, I'm like, Sonny, you've done such an amazing job. Just go ahead and post it, right? But again, stuff that I had to hire companies for or hire internally for in the past, I now have Sonny that will actually go ahead and do this, right? And they got some other guys like Stan. He's like in my LinkedIn. He's like, hey, I found like 7 people who match like your ICP, your ideal customer profile, right? And I don't even know who Rachel is, but I don't use her. I use my own stuff.
Dang, Rachel.
But dang, Rachel. So again, all these different things that I used to have to hire content creators for, all these different components is now done with one subscription, right? I don't remember what the price is. I got it on a Black Friday deal, but I mean, stuff that I don't have to worry about anymore. It's automatically created for me. It's automatically curated for me, right? So again, I utilize this. It's so awesome. So check out Marvelism. They're definitely one of the more fun AI tools that I have because it allows for me to do what I don't want to do, which is make social media content, right? It's very much like Sintra, Danielle, but it's Sintra is more like custom GPTs. So they're like a GPT where then you kind of like tell it what to do. I just had a notification from Sunny on like a content post. So Eva can work in multiple inboxes. Yes. Lisa, great question. Right. So again, it's super like I'm gonna tech nerd out. Super duper cool. Okay. So because it literally will just create the draft for you. You go into your set, bam, done. In your voice. Right. If you've ever met with me before, it's hey my friend. So I was like, hey my friend, how you doing? It's like, oh my gosh, it's like I wrote better than me. So check it out. Okay. All right. So let's separate facts from fiction, right? AI is too expensive. You don't need to be on the crazy plan to get crazy output, right? Now I'm partial to Claude. I like Claude a lot because I like coding and building. Claude is $20 a month, right?
Mhm.
So my recommendation for you guys right now is find the one that works for you. Okay. Because, and a lot of people talk about this. Shiny object syndrome is real. There are AI tech tools that are being released today that are going to be like, oh, here's all the hype. And then they kind of die down. It's shiny object syndrome, guys. Start with one and then build your AI team around your particular business, right? Start with one thing only. Okay. Number 2, it's too technical. No, it's not. You could talk to it. My wife makes fun of me all day. I'm talking to my phone, which is either Claude or ChatGPT or Gracie, our voice agents, or whatever. You literally just have a conversation with it. Okay. The main thing that I see people struggling with AI right now is they're making it too technical. Okay. Have a normal conversation with it. Treat it as if it's an employee. Okay. That's very, very specific. I get this question asked all the time. A very good friend of mine, her name is Ahu. She's like, oh my gosh, I just read this crazy article that AI will replace all human jobs, right? In the next 2 years, we're basically going to be on like this world healthcare. I'm like, oh my gosh, Ahu, it's like chill out real quick, girl. So, AI is replacing jobs. What is not replacing is the skills that we have, the licensing that we have, the decisions that need to be made by a licensed professional. What it's replacing in the mortgage space or the insurance space or the coaching space is the stuff that we used to have to outsource, right? Our content creation, our SDRs, right? Our call centers, all this other kind of stuff. That is what it's replacing. But the high end jobs, the high end skills, it's not replacing it. It's helping you to expound upon, right? That's what it's doing, right? And my business is too small for AI. Guys, just get a ChatGPT account or a Claude account for $20 a month. I will guarantee you, with the use that you get it, it will expound on your business. I heard something the other day, and I thought it was really funny. A lot of us who are entrepreneurs, we're thinkers, right? We had a good idea. We thought of a really good idea. We're now even more dangerous than before because before we used to have to find the people to build our stuff. Now we got the team that's in our phone that can help us build the business plan, build the content creation. If you think it, you can build it. Okay. We could build that directly with AI, right? Some success stories. I'm not going to talk about Global Financial because I know we're getting close to time. Craft Chiropractic, missed phone calls. Dr. Ryan is my absolute favorite chiropractor because he cracks my back all the time. But Dr. Ryan was like, I was answering phone calls at 9 o'clock because that was new. That was money calling me at 9 o'clock, right? Basically built him his version, which is Lightning, and which we just changed the name because he had a lightning tattoo, but now he's like, yeah, let's change the name. So it's Gracie. Everybody's Gracie, basically. But it answers every phone call, it books appointments, it reschedules clients, all the different stuff that you used to have to like hire. He's like, I have a hiring problem. I hire somebody, they're gone within 2 months. I now have to find somebody else. We don't need that anymore, right? We basically have that all set up with us. His favorite thing, he gets to eat dinner with his kids. That's what he says. Your AI has allowed for me to eat dinner with my kids. Isn't that crazy?
It's amazing.
Right? Okay. Just because it's AI doesn't mean it's automatically smart. Okay. Just because AI built it for you doesn't mean that you shouldn't check it. Okay. Because AI does hallucinate. AI does do things where it will mess up. And a lot of times where people get in trouble with AI is they have it create something for them and they don't check it. Right? It's very, very important. Check your work. Okay. But for everybody who's on this call, I will have a full, I'm calling it Jonathan Farrell's survival guide to AI. It's going to have all the different tools that I'm currently using, Whisperflow, Marvelism, what
Nice.
I use them for that you guys can use. So I appreciate you guys, but that's what I got today. I appreciate you very much.